Alright guys, let's talk. Let's talk. Today I wanted to talk about my feelings on the pilot episode of Flash Forward. Now, some of you may know I haven't done a great job finishing the things that I start here on YouTube. I tried to review the 7th season of 24, but a little more than halfway through I stopped. And I don't think I'm going to end up finishing that, so I will just say that I thought the season got worse near the end, and it ended up kind of disappointing me at the end. It was still one of the better 24 seasons. It started off really well. I had no problem with where it was going, and then near the end it just kind of fell apart. So I was a little down about that, so I didn't really feel like making videos for it, and it just kind of got away from me. So to anyone who was hoping that I would finish that, it's probably not going to happen. I'll just say here, I was a little disappointed in how it ended. Flash Forward, I watched the pilot last night. Now, I've been wanting to get into a new TV show for a while because House was a show I used to watch and still watch occasionally. It's a good show, but I don't really watch it too much anymore. I've always wanted to get into a show like Lost or The Sopranos or Deadwood or some show like that, or Oz, but I never really have. So pilot comes on for Flash Forward. This is the most hyped show in the history of television or something. Well, no, but it's the biggest show of the year, heavily hyped premiere. Everyone's talking about it. I was underwhelmed by this pilot. Alright, so for those of you who don't know what's going on in this show, basically every single person on the planet has a 2-minute, 17-second blackout during which they see a flash forward of themselves 6 months in the future. Now, first of all, I think this is a good concept for a movie. For a TV show, I don't see it. Because now they're going to try and figure out why did this happen. They're going to try and figure out what caused it, what purpose did it serve, and all this stuff. And then we got 6 months. These predictions, the predictions of the future that everybody saw, will not become really relevant for about 6 months. We won't know how truthful these predictions were for another 6 months. So we'll be watching this show, and I'm sure they'll cook up other good stuff to keep us entertained, but I really feel like this would work best for a movie. The first 15 minutes are about the blackout. The next hour would be about figuring out why the blackout occurred, who was behind it, what was behind it, and whatever. And then you could spend maybe another half hour on thinking about what might happen in the future and preparing for it. And then maybe the conclusion would be them experiencing the future to see how truthful it was. As a TV show, it might drag on for too long. I'm a little concerned about that. Excuse me. Okay, so the show starts. We see the day of a bunch of different people. One of them is on the pier trying to commit suicide. The other's doing a scouting mission for the FBI, and we're introduced to all these characters. There's Harold from Harold and Kumar. Couple other people that you probably recognize from somewhere. Seth MacFarlane is actually a minor character, which is bizarre, but enough about that. And the blackout occurs, and millions of people are dead because, you know, you had planes crashing, you had cars crashing into each other, you had all this crazy stuff that happened because everybody blacked out at once. Which brings me to my next problem. The special effects budget for this episode needed to be bigger. Realistically, I don't know where this show is heading, but chances are this episode will be the only special effect heavy episode. I could be wrong, but I don't see special effects being a huge focus for this show in the future. Could be wrong, but either way, it doesn't really matter whether or not that's the case. This episode needed more money. This episode needed a few more $100,000, $1 million, or whatever to make the special effects look better, because it just did not look right. They had cars blowing up, they had planes crashing into buildings, and it did not do it for me. This is supposed to be a huge premiere. You need to at least put that much work into it, because Like Lost, the premiere of Lost, they spent crazy amounts of money on it to make it the best that they could, and that worked out really well. So I would have liked to have seen better special effects, because I think it would have been a one-time thing. Just this one episode, you pump a little more money into it, make it look better. Later episodes are about story and plot and that kind of stuff. Probably not so much special effects. So just one time, make it happen. Okay, where else do we go from there? So now everybody starts talking about why they had these blackouts, and eventually it comes out that everybody, well, almost everybody, had a glimpse of the future. Next problem. The characters in this TV show arrive to the conclusions way too fast. Our main character is, I can't remember his name, he's an FBI agent. He arrives at the conclusion that it was a flash forward way too fast. The way he is able, in the scene where he describes his flash forward and describes why he believes it to be a vision of the future, he arrives at the conclusion that this was a vision of the future way too fast, way too easily. A real person would have taken much longer to arrive at that conclusion, and probably would not have arrived at that conclusion at all. Somehow, this guy knows that he wasn't just hallucinating, wasn't just seeing some BS. No, he knows it's a vision of the future. Why? It's almost as if the script had told him. Do you see what I'm saying here? These people arrive at the conclusion that they saw a vision of the future too fast. It's not that simple. So that's one thing that bothered me. These characters in this show do not act like normal people. They arrive at conclusions too fast. And then it goes along and everybody begins to think about what they saw. What they see is good or bad. The FBI agent sees himself relapsing into his alcohol problem. The wife of the FBI agent sees herself with another man. Meanwhile, the doctor who is about to commit suicide sees happy things that make him want to not commit suicide. Another person saw herself pregnant 18 months, a bunch of stuff like that. And people begin to talk and try and figure out, is this the future? Is it a possible future? Is it the definite future? And a bunch of stuff happens, and throughout these exchanges, I felt that the acting was subpar. I was a little disappointed in the acting, because when a show is hyped as much as this, I hold the acting to very high standards. This is especially true of HBO dramas and stuff like that, but Lost, I've never really watched that much Lost, but it always had great acting to my knowledge, always really got the job done in terms of the quality of acting. Excuse me. And I didn't feel it from this show. The guy who played Harold in Harold and Kumar, he plays an FBI agent. The head guy at FBI headquarters, not there. I don't know, they were acting angry for no reason, and they were just snapping for no reason, and it's like they were trying to over-exaggerate what they were actually trying to say. So, acting didn't do it. Dialogue, did not like it. These people, once again, they don't talk like normal people. They talk like they're reading out of a script. I never got the sense that these were actual people talking to each other. I got the sense that they're actors reading off a script. So, for a premiere, I was disappointed, definitely, but I'm going to give this show at least a few more episodes. What did you guys think? You guys let me know. What did you think? I know a lot of people liked it. I will say that the end of the episode got me interested, because we see the daughter with the friendship bracelet that the FBI agent saw himself wearing in the future, and then we see the one man who's still awake in the grandstands in the Detroit Tigers ballpark. So I am a little intrigued by the plot. It's just a lot of the elements of this pilot didn't do it for me. What did you guys think? You guys let me know. I'm going to stick with it for at least 2 or 3 more episodes, see what I think, see if the writers can cook up something to keep me interested in the 6 months in between the first episode and the future. That's what I think. See you guys later.